We will see how to log time and manage invoices in Zoho Projects today. For today's tutorial, you need to have Zoho Projects integrated with Zoho Books or Zoho Invoice. Subscribing to any of the paid plans in Zoho Projects is necessary to create invoices. You can integrate Zoho Projects with a paid plan in Zoho Books or a free plan in Zoho Invoice. We support time logging in all our paid plans. We will see how to log time now. We are currently in the default landing page of Zoho Projects, that's the Home tab. You have to navigate to the Timesheet module of a project to log time. You can choose to log time on a daily or weekly basis. I'll show how to log time on a daily basis first. You can choose the date, the user, and the task or bug for which the time has to be logged. If you wish to log time for a work item that's neither a task nor a bug, you can log here. Adding notes is optional. Enter the duration in hours and set a suitable billing status. When the billing status is billable, it means an invoice can be generated for it. When it is non-billable, you will not be able to generate an invoice for it. We've created an entry now. Hover over a time log to modify it or delete it. You can select the time log this way to modify its approval status or billing status. You can also modify the approval or billing status of multiple time logs at once like this. Use this option to log time on a weekly basis and start entering data like how you did for the daily logs. Click here to add more rows and use these arrows to span across weeks. You can also have a look at the duration formats we support here. Now coming to the views, we support 3 views: list, grid, and month. In the list view, you can view the time logs based on dates or users. By default, the current week is displayed with its billable, non-billable, and total status. The grid view displays the details in the grid, along with the consolidated billable and non-billable hours. In the month view, you can navigate to an existing time log from a specific date, and you can hover over a date to add new time logs as well. You can navigate across months and years from this right panel. Export the timesheet to an XLS or a CSV file here. Apply filters over the available time logs here. The timesheet report fetches you the time logs recorded in the current month in the form of a pie chart by default. The users are differentiated by different shades. Click any shaded area to get the detailed timesheet information about the chosen user. You can also change the chart type here and choose to export the results to a PDF or view your export history if needed. You can also apply filters to this chart view and view its results. We will see how to create an invoice now. You'll have to navigate to the Finance module to do it. As I've mentioned earlier, you need to integrate Zoho Projects with Zoho Books or Zoho Invoice. Else, you'll not be able to access this module. Before we proceed to create our first invoice, I'll brief about the budget section of a project. Here, you can configure your billing method, project budget, and default billing status. The currency cannot be modified once it is set. If you still want to get it modified, write to support@zohoprojects.com. When you decide to build a project based on the total hours or project hours, you need to set the rate per hour for the project as a whole. When the billing is based on staff hours, you might have to set different rates for different users. I will let the project to follow staff-based billing for now for this demo. The project budget can be based on amount or hours. I've updated the project's budget and we're all set to create our first invoice. This project's billing is based on staff hours, so the user rates will be applied to every line item in the invoice. When you select projects, a single line item will be displayed in the invoice, one for the tasks and one for the issues for the project Donley apartment construction. When you select tasks, you'll be able to see separate line items for the same task mapped to different user rates. When you select bugs, you'll be able to see separate line items for the same issue mapped to different user rates. This option, tasks or bugs, is very similar to the previous two options, just that you'll get to see the billing details of both the tasks and bugs in the same invoice. With this option, you'll be able to generate the invoice in a consolidated fashion for the time spent by a user on their tasks and issues together. When you generate an invoice using this option, you'll see separate line items for every task and bug mapped to the selected users. So, you'll be able to see multiple line items for the same user in the invoice. So that's how you create an invoice. The samples that you saw now have been generated already and they were shown only for your understanding. This is how a newly generated invoice will look like. Once it's generated, you'll be able to edit it, download it as a PDF file, print it, mail it to someone, or even trash it. Next, we will see how to record an expense. Select the expense category and enter the expenditure. You can also enter the bill number, add notes, and attach its receipt if needed. Select the customer and you're done. You'll be able to edit or delete the expense after it is generated. Thank you for listening. See you soon in the next tutorial. Subscribe to this channel for more videos on Zoho Projects.